Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. As always means a lot. And if you'd like the show, and I always say this every time, but if you like the show, you want to support it, nice review, rating, always helps us out. Lets me know that, might be doing something right. I might be doing something right. I'm still taking lots of pre-orders or reservations, I should say, for my book Beneath the Badge, a John Rennie story, coming out later this year. Email fcorcoran10@yahoo.com, include your name, phone number, and how many copies you would like, and I will. This is for physical copies too, I should note. Kindle, ebook, all that stuff will be done separate. But this is just for the physical copies because nothing beats having a physical book in your hand. So be sure to let me know, and excited to get those out. So love our guest today. Our guest today, I think this is his sixth time, I think, on the show, and it never gets old. Mr. Bob LeMent of Static Radio. I want to put the link in the show notes to his website, and you can keep up to date with Static Radio and all the fun stuff that they always do. We always talk about a lot of different things. Bob's just always a delight to have on. He's one of my favorite people that I've had on the show, and it's tradition to have him on at least once or twice a year. So thank you again, Bob, for coming on. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. And without further ado, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast today. All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Frankie Corcoran. Today, it's every now and then on the podcast. There's always somebody who I just love having on. That I'm like, I think I want to have him on again, and then I want to have him on again, and then I want to have him on again. And this guy is no different. He's the host of Static Radio. He's a good friend of the podcast, good friend of Corcoran Entertainment. Be sure to go check that out, staticradio.com. The link is going to be in the show notes. Please welcome once again to the show, Mr. Bob LeMent. What's going on, man?
Oh, I thought you were going to have somebody else come on. I was like, wow, this is a good build-up. I wonder who that is.
Well, I called Howie Mandel, but he's
he wasn't going to make it.
He's booked up tonight, so I said, okay, I'm going to have to go with Bob again because
Howie.
Howie.
He's a germaphobe, so maybe there was something going on with that. I don't know. So
yeah, I don't know what it is. He's like, he's just like, there's something. He said, I don't like your vibe, man. I don't like your vibe. So I said, okay. I said, it is what it is. Bob actually offers a service, and this is actually legitimate too. Like, this isn't me saying this now. You actually have a service, and I think we talked about this last time, of last minute guests. Not that this was last minute, but this is actually a service that you provide, correct?
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to be a fill-in guest. I think it's a great thing to do. I think all of the greats, through history were fill-in guests. And I mean, there's a lot of them. We could, go into like a historical record of fill-in guests. The one joke fill-in guest was Matt Damon from Jimmy Kimmel, which is a more recent thing, right? So Jimmy Kimmel always says, oh, we're going to have Matt Damon. And I think even a couple of times they actually show him ready to come out and talk, and then they cut him off, right? That's the joke, is they never actually get to him. But he shows up, right? So I'm happy to do that too. I'll be the fill-in guest that then gets bumped. I'm fine with that as well. So.
Well, what was, so speaking of that Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon thing, what kind of started that? Because obviously that's just, it's just been a running joke between the two of them for years. Like, how did that start, though? Do you know how that started?
That's a good question. I have no. I think at one point, Matt Damon's a big star. It's not like he's a nobody or something. I think at one point he was supposed to be on, and something happened, and he got bumped, and they thought it was funny, and so then they just keep doing it. It's kind of like Paul Rudd does the thing where he's like, I'm going to show you a clip from my latest movie, and then he shows that old clip from Mac and Me where the kid in the wheelchair goes off of the mountain or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
So, and he's done that on Conan. He did it on Conan, the entire run of the Conan show. Paul Rudd kept doing that for, on the Conan show. And I think he's actually done it on other shows since then, but it was originally a Conan bit. And I think the Matt Damon thing was just that. It just was a happenstance. It was funny because, who thinks, Matt Damon's going to get bumped or whatever. And then something happened. And so then they just kind of made it a running gag. Went with, and it's funny. I mean, everybody likes it, and he's a good sport. And so, why not? I mean, that's one of those things. And that's big TV, right? So, unfortunately, in the world of podcasting, typically people aren't always live, and so you don't really get bumped per se, because it's all pre-recorded a lot of times. So, but it's just kind of a fun thing. I think, but I'm more than happy if anybody's got a thing and they're like, oh, I need to have somebody to be on. If I've got the time, I'm more than happy to talk. So.
I just thought that was such a funny service. Like, for podcasters, that's such a funny service because of, but I mean, thankfully we're in such a day and age now where it's like, okay, we have these episodes mapped out so far in advance. Like, we know what's going to happen when, and it's so much easier to schedule. But then of course you're going to get the times where something's going to happen. Someone's not going to be able to show up. And that's where those types of services come in. So there's so many.
I should actually make a page just for that. You know what I mean? So maybe I could do that. I should.
But you do on your website, Frankie. Isn't there a page for that on your website?
I say something about it. Yeah, I say I'll always be a guest. But I mean, maybe I'll make it like an actual. Maybe I should promote that more. I tell people that, but I don't necessarily promote it. Outright, constantly or anything. Maybe I should start doing that. That's a good idea. I was going to say. You got lucky this morning. I got up to do some work in the yard. It's so darn hot. I'm like, I could have just passed out for the day. I don't know. Maybe I would have made it. It would have been terrible for you. You're like, where's Bob? And then you find out, a couple days later, oh, I had heat stroke. Had to go to the hospital. That was terrible. It was really hot this morning. So, by the way,
yeah, it's muggy. Fine. It's been raining all day today. We had a good weekend, but now for the next few days it's going to be raining, so we're kind of
it's incredibly hot today here. I'm in the Midwest. I'm in St. Louis metro, and it's just incredibly hot. It's so bizarre how hot it gets here. I mean, we get the range of temperatures here that is just crazy. Where we'll be just as hot as, places down in Texas. And then in the wintertime, we get just as cold as places in up near you in Canada, actually. Probably not quite as cold, but, darn near. Certainly Minnesota.
Yeah, no, exactly. We have every place is going to have their good days and bad days, and we're just getting into the weather that I like. We're like, it's like, once we get into fall and spring are my two favorite seasons because it's like it's not too hot, it's not too cold. I kind of prefer spring more so than any of them because fall. I find fall. Are you the type of person, because we're kind of getting like this? Do you kind of get the August blues, like the fall blues, like as you go into September, you're like, there's just something about the school year starting and the summer ending that everything just feels kind of blah. Are you do you get that stuff too?
No, I don't. But that's interesting that you mentioned that, because this isn't exactly what you're talking about, but people experience these kind of things. And there was something, I was talking to a friend of mine. We were on a driving together, and I go, do you ever get brain fog? Everybody's talking about brain fog. They got brain fog. I don't think I've ever had brain fog. What do you think brain fog is? That seems to be one of these words. You've heard this probably, right?
Oh yes, I get brain fog all the time, where it's just
seriously?
Like, yeah, I find it's like brain flatulence, like brain farts. That's what it is, basically.
Really? Okay? I see. I don't think I've ever experienced that, where I just I was asking him, and he's like, oh yeah. Every once in a while I get kind of. And I don't know, maybe people used to call it, spaced out or something. Maybe there's a different word for it. But yeah, brain fog was one of those things. I'm like, no, I'm pretty much, my brain seems to function at the same, middling level every day. So I'm like, I don't never notice it being lower or higher. So maybe I don't experience brain fog. That's a good question.
Well,
but
you're
that's
like,
what reminds me of the school blahs is kind of like brain fog. It's another one of those things that I just don't experience. I'm like, oh, it's just that time of year. I don't know. That's a good
Well,
question.
it's also the temperature gets it too. Like you're working in, like you said, what you described earlier, you doing lots of yard work and stuff like that, that right there is a recipe for brain fog. You're working in the heat,
Really?
you're tired, you're cranky. I find it is anyway. I find
Hmm.
it's just you get so worked up, you get so heated up, or you're cold because you're outside for too long shoveling or whatever the case may be. And then as soon as you're inside and you're kind of relaxing, someone asks you a question and you just kind of like space out, or and you're like, what? What did you say? Like, so that's what I find. For me, I find that's exactly what it's like. It's
Okay.
the
Well,
temperature will affect that.
maybe I've been there and I just don't realize. I was thinking it had something more to. I guess maybe I was thinking it's a little bit different. I never really have gotten a good definition of brain fog. I always thought it would be something that I would feel more, but apparently it's just, I could be thinking, well, maybe I have constant brain fog. Maybe that's the problem. I'm totally fogged all the time, and so therefore I never notice.
Well, you work a lot. You're doing lots of, in this type of business, you're always going. Is it busy for you all year round, or is it seasonal? Like, what's your like
Oh
busy
no.
times like?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Pretty much. Well, we never take a break if we can. If I can help it, we never take a break. So we do a show every week, and that for Static Radio, and then I do other shows like your show. I do other little side projects, and I do some regular spots in other places, and so yeah, it never really slows down. But kind of the main, I guess, kind of the my main thing, if you want to say, what would people say, main gig, main thing, is Static Radio, and I like to do that every week. The only time we don't do a new show in a week is whenever I'm on vacation, and then we do them ahead of time. But otherwise, because one of my things, what I've noticed over the years is I like everything to be super fresh, and so I don't like to do a lot of recording ahead of time. And so whenever you hear the show, it's been recorded within a week. It's almost like fish. You can't you can't pull the fish out of the ocean and let it sit around for a couple months and then serve it to people, unrefrigerated. And so that's what I think our shows are like. We have to just make it and put it out, make it and put it out. And so, yeah, so there's really never much of a break other than my wife, and she makes me not record. Although I'll be honest with you, I have recorded on other shows while I was on vacation before, and she was really not happy with me, but I did it anyway. So,
Well, they
yeah.
like, like that's literally the whole point of a vacation. It's to just shut your brain off
I
and
know.
let's have fun. And so then when you look and your husband's on his phone, you're like, what is this? You know what I mean?
I know, but apparently I can't do that. So maybe it's this constant brain fog is making me not make good choices, I think, in all this. But no, I do. And I've recorded our show while I've been other places and on vacation and traveling and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. I just think that's just kind of my mode. I always like to be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so whenever I rarely ever don't have something else going on during, anytime really. I mean, I guess over the holidays maybe, but I've recorded stuff on Christmas night and Christmas Eve, which is ridiculous.
Is that like, all right, that might be one of those situations. I'm normally on your side, Bob, but in that type of situation, it's like, come on, man, it's Christmas Eve, Christmas
I know, but
Day.
it,
Why?
to
What do I
me, it's a
do? Do I
schedule
spend
thing.
time
It's a
with my kids,
schedule.
or do I record a little
Well,
podcast?
this doesn't take forever. It's not like I'm tied up for hours or anything. So, it's this is one of those things, and you know this world probably better than I do, but with celebrities and actors and everything like that, there is a lot of hard work, right, that goes into it, but you're not working at the steel mill, right? And you're not putting in 10-hour, 12-hour shifts at the steel mill. And so therefore, you're always kind of up for things, right? As long as it's kind of on a regular pace and you're not overdoing it, it doesn't get tiring for you. You enjoy it, right? So it's not like, there's not like a huge number of people getting burnout, in that kind of situation where you're kind of, putting on a show in a way, like we're doing. We're putting on a show. And so that kind of atmosphere and so forth is actually energizing as opposed to depleting. And so therefore, I think for me at least, it's always like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. When, okay, I can carve out an hour, it's good. I'm good for that. But yeah, I think that's in my defense now, Frank, you made me feel horrible. My children are going to be.
That's not what we were doing. That's not what I was trying to do. This is where I expose you. Expose on Bob LeMent and his work ethic.
Right. Bob never, feeds his children. They starve in the other room while he's talking on the podcast. No, but no, I think that's kind of the thing. I'm like, oh, I can carve an hour out for this or whatever. And, that's what I enjoy it. I mean, I immensely enjoy, talking to folks and, talking to you and talking to other people. And, so I'm like, oh yeah, we can do that. I can make that work. Cause I mean, you have to be honest. I mean, yes, Christmas, may be something for a certain portion of the population, but for others, it's just another day.
Yeah, well, no, that's true too, and plus we're in, like, if you have an episode that comes out of Christmas, I mean, hell, you could have recorded that like days or weeks in advance. You know what I mean? Like that's the best part about this. I mean, like like with radio and stuff like that. I mean, that's like it's live. You got to be there at certain times and this and that. But when it's all pre-recorded, you know what I mean? Like that's why back when I was a kid, I never really realized that. I was kind of thinking like, why are they all doing this on Christmas Day? Like, why is whatever show it is, Good Morning America, why are they on at Christmas? Like this makes no sense. Not understanding, of course, back then TV and the importance of pre-recordings because things happen in life. Life gets busy, something happens, things get pushed. So you're always you always kind of got to be 10 steps ahead of yourself in all these types of situations. How has your ability to be 10 steps ahead has it improved? Has it stayed the same? How has it kind of been for you?
I don't feel like I've ever been 10 steps ahead. I always feel like I'm several steps behind. And if I am ahead, it's accidental. I'm like, wait, how did I get up here? You know what I mean? I have to look around. I'm like, where's everybody else at? I never feel like I'm totally ahead of anything. It's always, I always feel like I'm behind everything. Just like we mentioned the being a fill-in guest. I'm like, oh gosh, I should probably really do more for that. You know what I mean? Now I'm behind. I didn't even think about it. I would say it, but I don't actually do anything official. I'm like, oh, okay.
Not enough people are calling in sick to podcasts. It's like you're like know what you are. You're a casual podcast guest. That is your job description, or that's one of your job titles.
Yeah, one of my things. Yeah, whatever. I used to joke that, and this is an old reference that you probably won't even know, but there was a guy in the 70s. His name was Charles Nelson Riley, and he was an actor, right? He's a director like yourself. And he was in that time period in the 70s through into the 80s, he was a constant guest on shows, right? Like Tonight Show, any of the shows, daytime shows, nighttime shows, game shows, everything. And I said, I'm going to be the Charles Nelson Riley of podcasts. That's what I would say. I'd still say it. And because he would be the fill-in for everybody. He was the fill-in for Johnny Carson. If somebody couldn't make it, Johnny Carson would call him and he would come and be a guest. I mean, how could you get a better gig than that? I mean, he was on the Tonight Show hundreds of times, I think, over the years because things happen, planes and whatnot. And he lived not too far there in Hollywood. And they're like, oh, he'd stop by. He'd get a call, and like within a half hour, he'd be down at the studio doing, the segment. And so I thought, that's what I want to be. I want to be like Charles Nelson Riley. And so, yeah, that's where that all kind of started. And then that's whenever people, I tell people, yeah, don't, you're not going to hurt my feelings calling me at the last minute. You know what I mean? So I don't have like a super big list of things that I'm promoting or anything like that. I just like doing this. I like to talk to other people and see what they're doing. Like I always love to find out what's going on with you. And I'm like, yeah, I'll sit in. We'll do an episode. Then that way, because you, as far as you doing your show, you have a certain amount of momentum, right? So if you take a month or two off, I mean, that's a momentum killer. And so you don't want to do that just because you have a couple of cancellations. And so I help keep the momentum. I'm the flywheel of the podcasting machine.
That's a great way to put it, though, because like we're all a good community too. We all step in like this field, podcasting. I mean, it's a lot like it shares a lot of similarities to like the music industry, where you have or like theater, you know what I mean? Someone gets sick, you have an understudy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
today's podcast, Howie Mandel was supposed to be on, but Bob LeMent is the understudy.
That's right. I'm Howie Mandel's understudy. That's right.
No,
I had a cartoon called Bob's World instead of Bobby's World. It was fantastic.
I'm not sure why I chose Howie Mandel. I could have said like 20 other celebrities, but
Probably because we look alike. That's why.
oh, that's what it is. Yes, of course. He looks like a blue cat, which is what
We
you're.
look very similar. We look very similar to each other.
You look very close. He's 70 now. Did you know he's 70?
Really?
Yeah.
I remember when Howie Mandel first came on, this is going to show my age again, but when he first came on the scene, he was kind of like Carrot Top. I don't know if people remember this at all. He was a comedian. He was a high energy comedian. And he did a lot of like stutter talk whenever he was doing his bit. And he used to always bring this bag that looked like a giant Mickey Mouse glove, a big white bag that looked like a hand. And it was his handbag. And he would pull all these props out of it. While he was like, if he'd be on a show or something, he'd always have props in this handbag. And then he'd go, oh, this is my handbag. And then he would just do this kind of manic, crazy persona. Now, Howie Mandel now is not that, right? He's not, but this is how he started. This is how he started his career, was being essentially a prop comic who was very manic, kind of like Bobcat Goldthwait, very manic in his start with comedy. And then now he's more of a director, I think, than anything at this point in his career. He directs a lot of television and things like that, and even movies. But yeah, started out as a prop comic guy who was high energy like Robin Williams and similar people in that era. And now look at him. He's a judge, what is it, X Factor he does? What's that? America's Got Talent. Sorry.
America's Got Talent. Yep. I think he did X Factor
judge.
too.
He does his own show. He has his own podcast. He's got everything going on.
No, he's so good.
Deal or No Deal?
And I'm not sure. Did you see that whole thing of him on Kelly Ripa back in the spring? That whole, I'm not sure if I call it controversy, but there was a little bit of an online outrage over something he did. I'm not sure. Did you hear anything about this?
What did he do?
Well, this is so funny
because somebody touch him because he's a germaphobe.
No. No, not like that. So he just turned 70, as I mentioned earlier, that he's 70 now, which, he looks great for his age. So he goes on and Kelly is like, oh, so you're 70, and the audience cheers for him. And then, so she goes on and she's like, I don't think you're 70. Like, you don't look 70. And he goes on this thing of like, no, like he wasn't really taking the compliment. And, it seemed a little awkward, but you could tell, like, I remember looking at it going like, okay, he's just joking around. But people took it as Howie Mandel outraged on Kelly Ripa. And so there's two different ways to look at it, because it's like, I'll have to find the clip, but it's just basically, he's just, don't be quit saying I look good for 70, because that doesn't mean anything, and blah, 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 blah. And
okay.
You can tell deep down he's kind of joking, but you can understand why people would feel that he was overreacting. Like,
he's
you said you haven't seen the clip, but I mean, how would you kind of take that situation?
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, well, you're supposed to just be gracious and say, "Oh, thank you," and then move on or something. But maybe he was trying to make a bit out of it, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, it's the good thing with Howie Mandel is he went bald fairly young, and so he's like Professor X. He just looks ageless because whenever you go bald when you're younger, you don't change that much, right? So that helps a lot. And I think also the glasses. Glasses really help you a lot. I don't know if you know, you know that.
So this makes me look young. I'm actually 70 years old too.
You're 65, aren't you?
Geez, my dad's 65.
It's the glasses make you look much younger.
It makes me yeah, good. Like someone said, they're like, have you ever thought about getting contacts? And I said, no, I said I'm fine with glasses. Partly because I'm just so used to them at this point. I'm just so used to wearing glasses that I'm like, I don't really need contacts. I don't need laser surgery. As intrigued as I was at the possibility of doing it someday, I just said, no, there's not really a point. You know what I mean? Like, don't fix what isn't broken. I mean, are you that type of person that you're constantly, because there's always room for improvement, but it's also like, I don't care if things improve. This is fine with me.
So when I was younger, I had wear glasses as well, but when I was younger, I did contacts, and there's a huge problem with having contacts when you're younger. And that is, you're supposed to take them out of the time, I think they have longer ones now that you can wear for a day or so. You're supposed to take them out of your eyes, like regularly, and clean them, right? And when you're young and you're involved with life, let's put it that way, you don't always do that. And then that can cause problems with your eyes. And then, then it just makes things worse. And so, it's like getting a pet. If you're not ready for a pet, you shouldn't have one. And so if you're not ready to have contacts and actually maintain them, and for the health of your eyes and for the health of yourself, it's probably best not to have them. Now, having said that, once I got to a certain age, I'm like, I hate messing with these contacts. And so I just went back to my glasses and have gone with glasses ever since because it's just so much easier. And if you're a fashionable person, which I am not, but other people are, you can use that as your fashion accessory, right? Lots of people have all these different styles. They wear different glasses on different days. They do the whole thing, different colors and different, shapes and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's a fun thing. I mean, who wouldn't like it? Unfortunately for me, let's see, I took my glasses off because I don't need them to read or anything. So I'm looking at them here. And unfortunately, I am of the budget minded. And so my glasses, I think, the frames themselves cost a grand total of about $30. And then the lenses cost a lot more, but the frames themselves are very, very basic. And so I always just get some basic frames, almost as cheap as I can get. And then I put some money into the lenses to have, the features that I want. But no, I mean, no, I think, glasses aren't that bad. I think there used to be more of a stigma for people with glasses. I think that's kind of gone away now. I don't know. You would be more, I'm a little more immune to this because as you get older, you become invisible. I don't know if you know that. And so I'm a little more invisible than you are. And so since you're visible, you probably have more in the realm of what wearing glasses means to people, as opposed to me. I just cruise through life as if I'm not even there. I can do whatever I want. I can take 100 items and 10 items or less. It doesn't matter. Just go right on through. Nobody cares.
That makes it easy. But like I'm the type of guy that like it's like I said, having glasses or contacts, it's almost like maintaining a kid or a dog. If you don't want to take care of the dog or the pet, whatever the case may be, then just don't have them. And contacts are kind of the same way. You're not going to look after them. You're going to just let them get dirty and cloudy, and you're going to walk around like driving illegally because you
get an infection in your eye. I did that.
No, exactly. Oh, shoot, really?
Yeah. It's because you're an idiot. You're young and you're stupid, and you go out for a few days and have fun, and the next thing you know, my eye's all swollen. And then you have to deal with that aspect of things, right? Because you can get an infection. Now, I was going to tell you about the radial keratotomy, or RK. Or they have different things now, but I had some. What do you want to say? Some more insight into the old way they used to do correct your vision. Now they do it with lasers, and they used to actually cut your eye. Can you believe it?
Cut your eye, like just
They cut the lens. So yeah, they don't do this anymore. I don't think. They use lasers to do it, but basically the lasers are cutting your eye, right? So what happens is your eye is misshapen, and that's why you need glasses. Your glasses are taking the light that's coming into your eyes and refocusing it so it hits the back of your eye correctly, so everything looks right. Because the lens of your eye is screwed up, because your eye is either squished or elongated or some kind of misshapenness, right?
yeah.
And so that's right. It's ophthalmologist Bob today. So
This is a new degree
yeah, that's
that you're
right.
pursuing.
So so with radial keratotomy, what they used to do is they used to they had this little device, had like a razor sharp edge on it, and they would set it on your eye, right? You're looking up at it, and then they would, turn it, and it would basically slice a thin layer of your eye, and that would reshape your eye. And so then when it healed, because then they also do these little micro stitches and the whole thing. And then when it healed, then your lens was reshaped because your eye was reshaped, and then the light would pass through and hit the back of your eye correctly, and you would be able to see better, right? Which is really scary, if you ask me. And that always scared the bejesus out of me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, because it's all very safe. Even the lasers now and everything are so practiced that it's not, a big deal. But it scared me because of being. I saw that. I mean, I saw the process, right? And so it was very scary. Plus, like, I don't know. Do you have any tattoos, Frankie?
Do tattoos? No, I do not. Not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I've contemplated. I've
Yeah.
contemplated getting tattoos, and I just never really had the I maybe not the balls, but like I've just never had the motivation to actually go for it. Like I know people, they save for years, they save for months, they save all this time to get a tattoo, and for me, I'm just like, just if I get one, I get one. If I don't, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
I'm just not that type of guy. But one of these days, it is on my bucket list at some point.
Oh, okay. But it's just like that. I just can't. One of my things is I don't think I can have somebody to do my eyes that close to me for that long, just like a tattoo. I can't have somebody leaning over me dealing with my eyeball or giving me a tattoo, which you can get your eye tattooed, which is also very weird. But
Ugh,
anyway,
ugh. Makes you
yeah,
shudder. Oh my God.
yeah, they put dye into your anyway. But I don't think I could handle that aspect of it, let alone all the other myriad of things that go along with that. Isn't that I always, because people do tattoo. I'm kind of through the phase of tattoos right now, and I have friends and so forth that have them and are really kind of into that whole kind of thing. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine sitting there with somebody, with them, you know, putting the needle on me or what have you, for like an hour or even a half hour. I just can't. That's one of the problems that I have with the vision thing too, because it takes a little time, right? You have to go through a process. They don't just, it's not like making screen printing t-shirts where they load you up on the carousel and they just go, and get your eye and they move you down to the next station or anything, at least not yet. But maybe if it was like that, I'd be more in for it. But I'm like, I just don't think I want to have the doctor looking, touching my face for a half an hour while we go through this process. Isn't that, I had to get an MRI. It was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. Because you have to hold still, you get stuffed in a tube. I had to get my head scanned for a thing. I get stuffed in a tube, and you can't move your head, and you can't move, and it's making a lot of noise and everything. And that was just horrible. I had them give me. They said I'll give you a Valium if you want it, and I said yes. I will take whatever you're going to give me to help me through this process. And I took it. Absolutely no effect whatsoever. I don't even. I probably could have ate 10 of these things, and it wouldn't have even taken the edge off of me being stuck in a tube. So I don't know how we got onto this, onto that
We go from
topic, but
podcasts to Valium to how do we do this?
so anyway, Howie Mandel was my technician, and that's where we got around to this. He was helping out. He was doing a little side job with the MRI. But anyway, I think that's the aspect that bothers me more than all the rest of it, believe it or not. That, and I've kind of I've got to watch a few surgeries, more than a few, unfortunately, and the whole idea of messing with the eye just kind of creeps me out.
Well, it's just like it's the same deal as you go to the dentist. You're like this isn't hurting me. Like I kind of flinch whenever I go there, and they're like, are you in pain?" I'm like, "No, I'm not in pain." I said, "Just the fact that somebody is sticking their hand in my mouth and they're moving
In your
my
mouth.
teeth." I said, "It just I'm like, don't
I
worry."
gotta go to the dentist tomorrow, Frankie. Thanks for bringing this up.
Yeah, no, anytime. I hope it goes well.
So too. No, I hate that as well. That's another one. That's a tough one.
And they
because of
mistake it
that.
as, "Oh, you're hurting. What can I do to stop hurting?" I'm like, what you can do to help is to just finish the
Therapy.
damn thing. Finish the damn thing and get it done with so I can get out of here because this is just uncomfortable. That's my feeling. Or my favorite is when they're drilling at your teeth and they're talking to you. "All right, how was your day
Mhm.
today?" Zoo. And they start to go. I'm like,
They're
okay, don't ask me if you don't care.
just trying to make you feel comfortable.
Exactly. Like this doesn't make me comfortable because then I go blah blah blah, and then they're like, "I'm sorry, what?" I blah blah blah, blah, and they're going again. I'm like, just wait till we're done. I'll tell you everything you want to know. Tell me. I'll tell you when we're done, or before we start, whichever you prefer.
That and now I don't know why they haven't done this yet. So for a long time ago now, I think it was, I had a dentist that would put headphones on you whenever you were in the chair, if you wanted. It was voluntary. It was involuntary, and they played nice music to you. So then that way it kind of drowned out the drill sound. I think if they could get and negate the drill sound, everybody would be more comfortable at the dentist, other than the fingers in your mouth thing.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, that part is kind of unavoidable at this point, but the music really helped a lot. It was just like, I don't want to say elevator music, but some jazz, right? Some jazz music. So it
Well,
was nice.
where did I see they do that? They do that somewhere else too. Maybe they did it with kids who were scared to get their hair cut too, because that was a big thing. Kids didn't want to get their
Oh
haircuts
yeah.
because they were
Oh, I hate
scared.
getting my hair cut. Oh my goodness, Frankie, we're hitting on all my fears. What is this?
Every day.
Bob's
This is
fears?
welcome to Fear Factor.
Are we gonna make me eat a worm or something?
Well, that would get some good traction on this episode.
No thanks.
Or
Gosh, all these
reels. I mean,
things.
reels. Put that on a reel. That stuff will spread fast.
No thanks. I don't. Yeah, that all these things are like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't even want to. I have to go to the dentist because it's what's best for you. But yeah, I'm not. I don't enjoy it tremendously. I can tell you that. I'm like, I try to do my best not to go. You know what I mean? So I brush and do all the things. Floss and whatnot. But it's unavoidable sometimes. Sometimes it's just genetics. Your teeth just aren't as good as other people's.
Well, see, nobody likes it. It's just it has to be done. It's like doing your
Yeah.
taxes. It's like applying for a job, whatever the case may be. You're like, I don't like doing this because it's work and it's strenuous, or it's too time consuming. It's annoying, whatever. But it's got to get done, and the sooner you do it, the better. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
auditioning for a role or something like that. Like, this is something that you want, and but you're like, I don't want to have to go through the process of auditioning and waiting weeks, maybe a months to find out if I got the part. I just want to do it and get it done with. It's like, okay, but that's part of the job.
Now, I got a question for you. This is a question that bothers me a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's on topic. Actually, I'm not going to change topics on you. So, do you think that people who are, like A-list actors, do you think they get their teeth cleaned more than regular people?
They probably have to. I think.
I was thinking that. Like, I mean, do you think they go in for like weekly cleanings or just every 2 weeks or what do you
Well, I
think?
think
'Cause
I
I don't
well,
know.
I mean, thankfully with hair and makeup and CGI, you know what I mean. I honestly feel like in today's day and age with Hollywood, it's not it's an asset, but not necessary. I see it as because I mean,
Oh,
like,
really?
look,
You think they just CG all their teeth?
I mean, they could. I've
I
seen
guess you're
literally
right. I guess
people
they
do that on
could.
Photoshop. Like, if you can do that on
Oh, yeah, they
Photoshop,
whiten them. Yeah,
you
it's
could do
true.
it on CGI. You could use, whatever the case may be, special effects to make it look actually like, like there's like I'm trying to think of like some examples of that. Are there really any examples of because I mean, like, it's so funny. There's so many when you see like drug dealers in movies and stuff like that, and they have
Right.
clean white teeth.
They have
You're
clean white
like,
teeth.
okay, can
That's
you
right.
dirty them up a little bit? Use some makeup or whatever the case may be. CGI. You can CGI that stuff in. I get CGI is expensive. It's not like you can just
Right.
use CGI for it. It's fine. No, that costs money and a crap
That's
load of
right.
money. That's why, yeah, CGI and the cost of CGI is literally the reason we're not getting a new season of Ted from Seth MacFarlane. I'm not sure if you saw that
Oh,
show or not.
yeah. No, I saw the movie. I haven't watched the show.
Yeah,
So,
the show's so fun. Show's way better than the movies. The first two
really,
seasons are
I'll have to check it out.
so good. They're so funny. And everybody wants more. It's like the highest viewed show on Peacock, but the problem is it costs like $15 million an episode because of how expensive
Right.
the CGI on Ted is. And it's like
Well,
if
that should
Ted wasn't a
be coming
character,
down, don't you think?
oh, what's that?
That should be coming down, don't you think? Because of all the AI stuff, it should be dropping like a rock here soon.
Well, you would think, but well, actually, they did use AI on Ted. They used AI. They had Seth MacFarlane come in as Bill Clinton, and he got the Bill Clinton voice, but they used AI to make his facial features match Bill Clinton, and it worked out great. I know people were giving
Oh,
it
cool.
crap because it was AI, and people they shouldn't be using AI for these types of shows or whatever. But I'm like, hey, it worked. It worked for the bit. It was really really funny. It was very well done. But it's I wonder how much better an AI Ted would look versus a CGI Ted. Like is like what's
Hmm.
really the better of both, you know?
Well, I would imagine right now the CGI Ted's going to be better, but give it another couple of years, and it's they're going to be one and the same, to be honest with you. So we can get on the AI subject for a little bit here if you want. So everybody is worried about AI. They're scared of AI. Everybody, I don't. You have the group that's like pro AI. You have the group that's anti AI. But the reality is, at this point, everyone is using it, whether they know it or not. This is kind of like the this is like the artificial sweetener of the digital world, because whether you know it or not, you are using it. Just like whether you know it or not, you're ingesting artificial sweeteners, whether you know it's being used or not, openly, right? Or so um, that's the rub, and that's where the system is taking us, right? Everything is moving in that direction, and I understand the outrage for it, right? But it's like one of these kind of situations where it's it you're going to wake up one day, and you can't be outraged anymore because you can't stop it. You can't do anything without you know touching it, utilizing it. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you can't do a Google search now. You're Every time you do a Google search, AI is being used, where before it wasn't, like 5 years ago. And so you can't help it, and people get angry about power and water consumption and all that kind of stuff, and those are problems, and they need to be dealt with, and they can be dealt with. I'm always confused. I know it takes power. I've never figured out why it takes so much water, other than the fact that they're being cheap, in the sense that they just want to use water, evaporate water to cool it, as opposed to you. I mean, we don't. We have freezers. We can keep our food frozen. So why can't you cool? Uh, why can't you cool a bunch of servers the same way. You can. It's just more expensive, right? And so if you just evaporate water, that's really cheap. And so that's why they do it, is because it saves them money, not because they have to do it, which I think people sometimes get confused and they think, well, they have to use all this water. It's like, well, no, they don't really have to. They're doing it because it's way cheaper than, investing in, something that is going to cool it enough to make it run effectively. And so anyway, that's one of those things that just kind of comes up. It's like, I think your average person who's not involved in any kind of digital world beyond using it, utilization, doesn't think about these things that much. And so then they kind of buy into the fear mongering that the press does from time to time on these subjects. But it's, I don't want to put people out of work. But unfortunately, I think it's one of these eventualities that these things are going to do certain things. And what was I talking about? Oh, Miles and I had a story recently. I can't remember the exact story, but he doesn't like to use the self-checkout. He's like, I don't like to use the self-checkout because I feel like I'm putting somebody out of a job. And I said, nobody wants that. Nobody is dying to be running the checkout. They run the checkout because they need some money and it's a job that's available, right? So, it's not like Marge or whoever is running the checkout is like, all I wanted to do my whole life was be a checker. You know what I mean? That's not the case. And so a lot of these jobs that will be kind of subsumed are not jobs that everybody wants to do anyway. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, that's kind of the way I think about it. It's like some of them, maybe it'll open up new jobs that'll be much more interesting and more, engaging. That's what we should be looking towards, rather than trying to save jobs that are so mundane and boring that, you can't find people to do them, let alone, force people to do them because they are trying to make a living. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my 2 cents on AI this week, Frankie. What say you, Mr. Corcoran?
Well, I mean, I talked about this before, which is, recently Spider-Man Brand New Day just came out, destroying the box office, absolutely destroying the box office. They used AI for one of the sequences where Spider-Man's falling off the building or diving off the building. And so it caused a little bit of backlash from people saying, why would they do that? But for me, I'm like, okay, like it was just one scene. I said it'd be a completely different other scenario if they used it for the whole film. Let's say Tom Holland never filmed once on set and they just used them all as AI. That'd be different. That would be different. It's like, okay, just replace him then. I said there's no point in doing it that way. Unless something happened, like there's certain circumstances where I can understand, let's say like, if the whole Fast and Furious Paul Walker situation happened today where Paul Walker passed away midway through, they were like 90% of the way through filming that Fast and Furious movie, Furious 7, and they had to use CGI, bring his brothers in, they had to finish it off. Today's day and age, AI.
Right.
The Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch. When I first started this podcast, one of the biggest challenges I was faced was simply finding the right guest. I'd spend hours scrolling through social media, sending cold emails, trying to track down people who actually shared similar interests and aligned with the vision of my show. It was exhausting, time-consuming, and honestly, kind of felt like a guessing game. That is why I wish I had discovered Podmatch sooner. It is the ultimate platform built to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Instead of wasting your days hunting for the right fit, Podmatch uses an intelligent, automated matching system and pairs you directly with like-minded creators and experts tailored specifically to your niche. Whether you're a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights, or you're a guest hoping to share your expertise with a broader audience, Podmatch completely simplifies the entire process. If you're ready to save time and grow your brand, head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corcoran Entertainment and sign up today for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right. $6 a month to join the Podmatch family and never struggle to find the perfect guest ever again. Thank you for tuning in to the show, and happy podcasting.
Well, think about I watched the documentary. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's called "The Boy Who Could Fly." But anyway, I may be wrong on that. Look it up. But anyway, Daniel Radcliffe's stunt double got severely injured doing a stunt on one of the Harry Potter movies, one of the later ones when he was older, and to where he is hurt his back, his spine, and he is now paralyzed from the waist down.
God.
And is confined to mobility devices. You say confined to a wheelchair, but he can do other things. There's more things than just a wheelchair to get you around. But anyway, the confined to that. And so if AI can make it so that somebody doesn't injure themselves doing a stunt that is going to be potentially life threatening, isn't that better?
Yeah, like it's a situation that, like, okay, if you're halfway through filming this movie and you have to finish it somehow, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes sense. That makes sense to me. But on the other side, I mean, like I saw that one they did. I didn't watch the movie, but Val Kilmer, he was supposed to be in this one movie. He passed away before they started filming. And so they were like, okay, this is who we envisioned in that role. So they used him as AI in that. And it's like, okay, in that type of situation, you could have recasted him. You know what I mean? Like there's other actors who could have done it. I could understand if they were like almost done filming. They had like 2 scenes with him left to film. It's like, okay, just do it and get it done. What can you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
then you got his son voiced him.
Yes, no, exactly. And that's the one thing. His family did give the approval. So that's why it's a very, very tricky situation, because the family, like, we can say whatever we want as film fans, but the family said they approved of it. So that right there makes it a tricky situation, because we can say whatever we want about how it doesn't fit the film, whatever. The family agreed to it. The family did agree to it, and that's whether people like it or not. That's just how it is. And so, okay, you got to honor their wishes. Although I do see some celebrities, like Robin Williams' daughter, basically said like no condoning, like they don't condone of any use of their father for AI. Right. And there's some instances that they have to respect that. I think they might have even sued someone for it or something like that one time.
And as well, they should. I mean, that I think the biggest issue that's going to come up out of all of this is taking people's likenesses and utilizing them without their permission, or taking liberties with them, right? So let's say you do a show or whatever, and you get recorded, and they're like, well, we don't, Frankie, his arm moved here, it shouldn't have moved here. We're going to, move Frankie's arm without Frankie moving his arm. Right?
Yeah.
That's probably not cool, right? They either need to get you to okay that, or, because maybe that was a choice. You're the actor, or bring you back in and redo it, right? So I think you're gonna have to set terms, right? Because that's what's going to happen. And I think, unfortunately, this is going to be one of these legal things where you're going to have to watch all your contracts, because they're going to put it in and you're not going to know it because it's this big, thick thing. And they're like, oh, no, you signed off on, after you're done with your performance, if we need to tweak it, we can tweak it. And unfortunately, people are going to get forced. I don't know if you've noticed this David Krumholtz. He's an actor, been around a really long time. He was a child actor, grew up into an adult actor. Now he's probably 50 or something. Anyway, he's taking a break from acting because he is kind of fed up with the system. And so he's like, this guy has been in, you may not recognize his name, but he's been in some huge things. He was in the show called Numbers for a number of years on CBS. He's on network shows. He's been in giant movies. He was an elf in Santa Claus movies, and in the one with Tim Allen, the Santa Claus, right?
Oppenheimer, he was in that as well too.
It was an Oppenheimer, yeah. So this guy and he's a very good actor, right? And so, but he's saying that what's happening now is they're really pushing down on actors to not pay them, right? And that's why he wants to take a break, because here he is, he's a known quantity. He's obviously proved himself over and over and over and over again that he does a good job. He's not problematic, right? He doesn't have any morals clause problems or not showing up or drug
Not
use or
yet.
anything
He
like
hasn't
that.
gotten that way yet.
Yeah, right. Well, now you sound like the studio here, Frankie. No,
But yeah, I saw this
he
earlier.
hasn't
Yeah,
done it yet.
innocent until proven guilty. I always, yeah.
But he's like and the reason they're doing that is partially because of all of the way that they can replace people now, right? So because they don't have to get they can put nuance in where nuance wasn't if they want to, and so I think that's going to be an interesting thing. But I think the pendulum always swings, right? So it's going to have to swing, and then what happens is you still have to satisfy the audience, because you talked about Spider-Man being the big hit. I mean, here lately, there's not been a lot of big hits, right? I mean, movies are what I would call in a bit of a lull right now, because every movie that comes out is not record breaking, right? So whenever people talk about, the last time they talk about um, big movies recently would be the Marvel movies, right? Marvel movie. Now I know Spider-Man is a Marvel movie, but it's a Sony movie and it's a little bit messy. But anyway, so the Marvel movies have made a lot of money and everything, but you have to go back a ways, right? So everybody's nostalgic for the 80s, because back in the 80s, literally you'd have a new movie that would break records like every other month. And that's not happening. The movies they think they're going to be super successful aren't.
Yeah, and that's just the reality. You look at like the top 5 or top 10 highest grossing films, probably 6 or so of them are Marvel, you know?
Yeah, right. And it's and so but that's not the way it used to be. It used to be it was all over the board, right? So you'd have them from everywhere. And now it's kind of condensed itself to where yes, you can get that because of brand recognition right now. And so now everybody's like, oh, well, everything's got to be brand recognition. So then we just get sequel after sequel after sequel, and we don't get a lot of original stuff. Now we've gotten some original stuff with the horror genre, right? A lot of things coming out in there that are breakout things. People doing very small independent movies that are runaway hits because it's in a sector that the major studios aren't really paying attention to, and so it's filling the void. And I think ultimately all this stuff's going to shake out like that. So the consumer eventually is going to vote by going or not going, and so it can swing all the way until we have totally photographic quality AI making a whole movie with imaginary things, and eventually people will I don't think that that's going to fly totally, and then we'll swing back the other way. And so that actually gets me into another topic I thought in my head as we were talking is actors are getting uglier, which I think is great myself, but it used to be
You had to be 6'2", chiseled, all that
yeah,
stuff, but
not
the bar is
anymore.
low now.
Yeah, no, they want the fringe people, right? So I was just this is going to sound terrible.
It helps people's confidence when they see ugly people. You're like, okay, well, at least,
Yeah,
I might be ugly, but at least I'm not him.
yeah, but I, but it seems like they're getting more people who are less cookie cutter that are starring in these things, which I think is fantastic because that takes me, back to the character actors and so forth, who are always kind of that, right? The character actors are more people who are interesting looking. We'll put it that way rather than ugly, but. But now we're getting to be where even the people who are, the people who are out front who are carrying the movie are much more interesting looking now than they have been probably for 20 years. I don't know. Do you think that trend is true, or what's your thought? Because you're a little bit more tapped into this. Mine's just, on the outside here.
No, well, I mean, I like it's an interesting because I mean, I feel like nowadays in Hollywood, there's almost like I wouldn't really necessarily say type there's a good mixture of like typecasting and like actually just good casting, you know.
Mhm.
Like I think there's lately I find we're getting more so onto the other side where it's, like, yeah, you have the Minecraft movie, you throw in Jack Black as Steve and you're like, okay, that's
Mhm.
not at all how I would have pictured him, but it's Jack Black saying things in the most Jack Blacky way he can, and it's obviously that's gonna, it doesn't matter if he fits the character at all, they just know it's going to sell. They got Jason Momoa in there too, and it's just so
Mhm.
goofy, but um, ultimately, at the end of the day, I see it as just that it's a business. At the end of the day, it is
Mhm.
a business. We can look at things from a creative standpoint and be like, I don't think they should have done this, or I don't think they should have done that. But you look at it from the studio's perspectives. When we did it this way, it made money. We did it this way, it didn't make money. We look at Avengers Doomsday, where we got Robert Downey Jr. coming back
Mhm.
as Doom, as many mixed opinions as I have about them bringing him in as Doom, of all people that they could have casted. Um, but I do think he'll do a stellar job as an actor. Just, I think it would have been better to go the more traditional route, but they looked at the numbers, they looked at it all, and they said, look, if we bring in Robert Downey Jr., if we cast some other guy, who knows, it might not work good. So if we bring in Robert Downey Jr., this will boost our followings right up. And, judging by the trajectory of Spider-Man Brand New Day, I predicted before, I've said it before, I said it again, Avengers Doomsday will be the highest grossing film of all time when it comes out in December,
Are you sure they're not going to do a Ben Kingsley switcheroo for the? I can't remember his character's name in Iron Man. He
Oh, the
was
Mandarin. Yeah.
the Mandarin. The Mandarin. He was supposed to be the Mandarin, but he wasn't the Mandarin. It was Ben Kingsley. He's an Oscar winner. Come on.
Yeah, they just completely underutilized him. I was like, okay, like we were all looking forward to see him as the Mandarin, and then boom, no, he's
Well,
just an actor.
all the hype and promotion was he was the Mandarin, right? And then whenever you watch the movie, he's not the Mandarin. He's just the actor playing the
Yeah,
Mandarin
exactly.
for the
Guy
movie.
Pearce was the real villain all
Yeah, it
along.
was
You
the
know what I mean?
Mandarin.
It's like
Exactly.
he was a wicked villain in it, though. Guy Pearce did absolutely fantastic in that. But
Oh
the way I
yeah.
see it is that it's business. That's why there's always so many conversations about AI and everything. It's okay, like we're on a budget here. We got to save money. I find as you get older, as you learn about not just the entertainment business, but just business in general, and you understand more about like the importance of saving your money and spending it right. And movies can be like, as I said, we can talk all we want about certain opinions on things. A lot of them don't make sense, a lot of them do, but you got to be able to see both sides of the coin. You're like, this person might not look like this character, but hey, it'll sell tickets.
The sell tickets now. Frankie, the true Frankie's coming. I gotta sell tickets. Gotta get the
It's true
tickets
though.
sold.
Hey, that's the business, that's
I
the
gotta
business
pay
side
for
of it.
this theater, people.
It's true. Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. Things will sell. You know what'll
Well,
sell.
I like so there used to be, and it's not so much anymore. I do know that it is a business, right?
Yeah.
There's just because they put show in front of business doesn't mean it's still not a business. The but I think there was a little bit more. Maybe it's just rose-colored glasses, but a little bit more where they kind of did two for us and one for you kind of a situation where they do two that were just out and out, let's generate funds, and then they'd slip one, maybe it's not got the biggest budget or anything like that, they'd slip one in for people that was just pure fan made, right? It was made just for the fans. And I don't think we get a lot of that anymore because everybody's worried about the bottom line. And I think though, unfortunately, I think part of the reason that we're in kind of a slump at the box office is because they're thinking too much about the bottom line. They're going to have to slip something in for the fans. They got to free up some money, to make the fans happy. So then they'll go to the other ones and they'll make their money on those, and then they have to lose money on one that's really going to be fan service, because you have all these sleeper hits, right? Office Space. Nobody went to see Office Space, and yet Office Space everyone knows what it is. Everybody can quote the movie, right?
Yep.
It's a hidden gem, and so many things like that exist because they were able to get made. And we aren't going to have those going forward if it's all about the bottom line. But the thing is, Office Space now is worth more than they even thought it was going to make when they released it, even though it lost money initially. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know what's going to take off, because of circumstance. And you have to take those risks, and we're not taking those risks. So there's not going to be any kind of sleeper hits that come out of nowhere, and they'll make their money somewhere else, right? They're going to make their money in a different way that you wouldn't even ever have imagined, because you let it happen, right? Because it seemed like a cool idea. There's a reason. So Monty Python made Life of Brian, which is a classic movie, right? And the story on the Life of Brian is it was financed by rock stars, Pink
Right.
Floyd and George Harrison, and put in money and so forth. And the reason they did, the George Harrison quote, he's kind of a funny guy. Why did you do this? He's like, I wanted to see the movie. And we need those things. We need those things to happen and now you have this movie that is, easily outlived its shelf life, right? It wasn't going to be a blockbuster movie, but it's still relevant today because of the subject matter, because of who made it, Monty Python, and so forth. And so you have to allow these things to enter into the environment, because if you don't, then actually that's worse for you. Everything's going to shrink even more if you don't have a little bit of flexibility, with the way, because it's still, at the end of the day, yes, it is business, but it still is art. And art has to be free. Art has to flow. And if you restrict art too much and it doesn't flow, then art will be someplace else, right? It's not going to be with you. It's going to go someplace else because it has to. That's just the way that it works. It's like Mother Nature, right? You can only restrict Mother Nature to a point, and then guess what happens? You lose. And I think art's the same way. If I try to draw a connection between the two, art is the same way. You can only restrict it so much, and eventually it will be someplace else, and you will have no, it won't be yours, and you won't be able to make it. Somebody else is going to be doing it, and you're not going to have that joy, or even the money. So, I don't know, Frankie.
No, it's good. No. I mean, like we talked about many times, which is, quality versus quantity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like don't worry about the cost of it. Just focus on putting out good films. Like that's ultimately what we want. Although we do understand both sides of the coin where we know how expensive it is to make art. Art is very
Right.
expensive to make, depending on what it is you make. If you're making a movie, then yes, you pretty well got to get grants and, go right behind a
Mm-hmm.
studio to finance the whole thing. But, for the most part, I mean, it's, there's both ways. You always gotta look at both ways. But ultimately, as long as your goal at the end is to come up with something very entertaining, something that people will like, something that people could learn from, that's what's going to make, the finished product the best that it can.
Yeah. And speaking of art, what have you got coming up?
I got a little bit of everything, man. Little bit of everything. I got the book. I got a book coming out. It's so exciting.
Oh, I know. I saw that. Congratulations. That's
Yes,
fantastic.
thank you. I'm so excited for that to be coming out. And then still doing some shows. But for the most part, it's one of those things that I've been working on the book for like a year and a half, and I said now's the time to get it done. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it's a big change. Doing plays and things like that, and podcasts
Mhm.
and everything. That it's time that I finally put this to pen and paper and make it happen. And so I'm super excited for that. And I mean, you got lots of stuff going on too. What can you tell us about any upcoming projects
Oh,
for you?
I'm boring compared to you. You're young, and I mean, it's great. I just want to congratulate. Writing a book is one of the hardest things. I know
Yes.
that everybody says that, and it sounds so cliched, right? But I mean, I know people who write books. That's what they do. That's what they want to make their living at, and so that's what they're doing, and it's tough, right? So it's tough on so many levels, right? And so it's really hard to come up with a good concept, and then to run that to completion is something else. And then, I mean, now, honestly, unfortunately, Frankie, we talk about business and everything. This is the beginning again, because now you got to get out and promote it and get it out into people's hands. And that, to me, is, even though all of the mountain that you've climbed, it's like you get up to the top of it. You're like, I've climbed this mountain. I made a book. And then you look up and, oh, wait a minute, there's a whole nother peak.
Yep. No, exactly. And that's what they all say. And I mean, like, that's what's so great about doing podcasts. I mean, you probably feel the same. I mean, all the people that you get on, that they're promoting their stuff all the time. They're like, that's basically what it's about. It's getting out there and promoting it, and, doing lots of podcasts. We got lots of great platforms where you're able to promote it with great audiences. Yeah, no, it's great, man. We got good community here. And, especially with what you and I got here, being able to go back and forth on each other's shows and everything, it's a lot of fun. So, thank you, Bob, again for, the kind words, taking the time to come on today. And, it's getting close to your supper time too. So it was,
I know my wife's going to be yelling at me here shortly.
Yeah. Did you guys hear that, that technical difficulty in the background? That wasn't a mic. That was Bob's stomach growling. And then his wife going, Bob, it's dinner time.
Are you coming? Are you coming down here? Because a lot of times I'll be up here working on something in my office, and then she's always yelling, "Are you coming down here?" I'm like, "Yes."
One of these days.
Dear.
Oh, but I'm not sure what she has planned for you tonight, but hopefully you enjoy it.
I will.
You will. Bob, it's a blast, man. So much fun. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, as always, to staticradio.com. Be sure, guys, to go check out Static Radio and keep up to date with all the crazy things and all the exciting things that Bob's up to. Bob and Miles Title are doing. Bob, thank you again so much, man. Where else can people find you? You're on Facebook and stuff like that too, I believe, are you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm here. I'm on most of the socials at Static Radio. And I think that, some may be Static Radio podcast. I can't remember. There's so many socials now. I just get lost in that. But I do have one on just about every platform that I can think of. And but yeah, just stop by, listen to the story. We tell stories. I don't know. I got to tell a story this week, so I have to think of one. Maybe I'll talk about Howie Mandel. Who knows?
Yeah, we just got on a roll about him today. I don't know what that was. And then any podcasters out there, Bob's service, of course. If you need a last minute guest,
you can come up with a better title for that. What do you want?
There's got to be something casual. Do a job posting for casual podcast guest or something like that.
Go. Yeah, right.
That's what I think.
Now I feel like I'm on the singles pages or something.
Yeah, this.
When I kind of a good time.
Like, oh yeah, make a big profile for it. Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate it, man. And guys, thank you guys all for listening to the Corcoran Entertainment Show today. We'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, this is Frankie and Bob LeMent signing off. Cheers, Bob.
Later.